For years, we brought you this show on SiriusXM, and you could only hear it. Now we bring it to Perfect Game TV. This week, our guest host, Destiny Martinez, a national champion at Oklahoma Women's College World Series in 2013 and Perfect Game's national director of softball operations. Destiny, thanks for hanging out with us, and thanks for taking a journey in our weekly communications with all of your clients, all the people that you want to help to grow up and raise to the next level. This is fun. Thanks for helping us out.
Yes, of course. Thank you for having me. I think this is so special for our sport to have this type of platform, so thank you for doing this.
So I'm going to talk to you about both guests. Love to get your thoughts. Then we want to get to them. Mary Haff has thrown a perfect game at Arkansas, and she did it just within days of recording this show. So we're excited to talk with her. Her journey is a unique one because she exploded. Boom, her freshman year, she was impact. Then what was, her 2021, her senior year, she got an extra year because of COVID. She was incredible again last year. But I think along the way, what's great about Mary is how she's evolved as a human, how she is excited to head into her professional world. And she's pitching to a brand new veteran catcher this year. I'm excited to talk to Mary Haff at Arkansas.
Yes, Mary Haff. And I think it's so important too, just to highlight Arkansas as a unit. They have really stood out over the last couple of years. So it'll be interesting to hear from her and see her thoughts. But yeah, the way that she's grown throughout her career has been really fun to watch. So I'm excited to hear from her.
I had a chance a couple of years ago on national TV to call then Tennessee Mojo middle infielder Mia Williams' home run out in Irvine, and she was one of the few. The event went all the way up to U18. We're going to bring her on. She's the number one player in the 2023 class, is ranked by Extra Innings Softball. Number one, she's a Florida commit. She's got all kinds of family history as it pertains to athletics. You older guys like me remember White Chocolate that played in the NBA. Her dad, Jason Williams. I'm excited to get inside her head, too.
No, I'm super excited to hear from her. Not only are her parents super athletic, but her story, her recruiting process, the fact that she's a dual sport athlete. I think those are really good topics to bring to this show and just spread more awareness of. There's a lot of different perspectives of dual sport athletes and going D1 in one specific sport and what that takes. So I'm really excited to hear her perspective and learn a little bit more about her journey.
My kids and stepkids call me D Money. That's the nickname they have given me, and now we're doubling the D Money with Destiny. D squared and our special guest when we come back. This is Perfect Game Softball. Glad to have you with us on Perfect Game TV. Let's start it now. We welcome you back to Perfect Game Softball alongside Destiny Martinez, Darren Sutton, and the journey and the successes of Mary Haff this year of Arkansas, the Floridian who made Arkansas her home many years ago, at least doing so collegiately, and has done just an amazing job within the circle. Mary spends time with us now. Mary, happy mid-season to you as you guys have been grinding for quite some time successfully at 17-4. We appreciate you spending time with us.
Yeah, no problem. Glad to be here.
I want to take you back to the beginnings when you're making your choices of where you're going to play. You had a very successful journey at Lake Region High School, Winter Haven, Florida. I'm sure there were options. And then there was Coach Deifel, and then there was the opportunity to make Arkansas part of your life. Why were the Razorbacks? Why was Arkansas the right choice for you? It appears now that it really was. But back then, when you were deciding, I'd love for our young athletes to hear, why did you choose Arkansas?
Yeah, so growing up, being from Winter Haven, Florida in the South, an SEC school has always been a dream of mine, especially for softball. It's always been the pinnacle of college softball has been in the SEC. So from a young age, I grew up watching SEC and knew that that's where I wanted to be. Going through the recruiting process, my number one goal was to go somewhere where I knew I was going to play. So Arkansas was a school that was kind of under the radar, and Coach Deifel promised I'd be able to come in immediately and start making a difference in the program, and that really, made my decision a lot easier when, one, it's an SEC school, and two, it was a school that I knew I was going to be able to come in immediately and make an impact.
Mary, that is awesome. So I think one thing for what Perfect Game is trying to execute in the softball space is opening up those types of conversations and having those conversations with these young recruits who are getting ready to start the recruiting process. And I think it's so important for girls to understand that there's so much more to look into when you're choosing your school and your right fit. And so we have somebody that's on site at our combines that is going to walk these girls through the conversations. Are there any questions that you feel were significant to making this decision? I know obviously you wanted to play. What other kinds of questions went into that in making that decision?
Obviously, it's school too. It's not just softball. So one, is this school going to be a place where I can choose the major that I want and really just take my career path, the one that I want? I'm actually a pre-med, and that was one of my big decisions as well, is going to a school that challenged me not only athletically but also academically. And Coach Steifel was all for, me coming in and being able to choose the major I want, no matter how rigorous it would be or how much time it may have to take away from softball. So definitely finding a school that, takes like a holistic approach to your experience and not only worries about you as an athlete, but also a student.
Yeah, that is really great advice. Can you walk us through just a little bit of the growth? I know the program has obviously developed tremendously since you've gotten there, but kind of walk us through the growth of you getting there and now how you guys are competing at such a high level throughout your time there.
Right. As my first year, we improved a little bit, and it feels like every year we've kind of just taken an extra step forward. I think we've gotten to the point now where people don't really underestimate us, and we're definitely a team that people have on their radar. So it's glad that it's gotten to this point, and it's really exciting for all of us that have seen it. And it feels like a full circle moment that, we decided to come here, and really just our dreams of this program and what we envisioned it to be is finally coming true.
Help me understand what Bogle Park is like. And let me pick, let's say, the Supers against Arizona last year, when there's nearly 3,000 people there that are bearing down and supporting you. For those that get to take advantage of that atmosphere, you in the circle, you get to fuel yourself with that kind of emotion. So give me a good perspective of your home stadium.
It's definitely is exciting and definitely loud as well. It's kind of overwhelming, I think, for the first time, but I was glad that we were able to make it to Supers the year before, or 2 years before, or my freshman year. Oh goodness, whenever, and kind of experience it. And whenever you're at home, it just gives you that extra oomph that you need against a hard team like Arizona. So just knowing that Arkansas softball has grown so much, and also just softball in the state of Arkansas has grown so much. So having that support from our fans means a lot to us.
Maryland knows your name, and they know all about you now, and they knew about you beforehand, but the first perfect game in the program's history. Full count on the final batter, which means that, those that love you most are biting their nails the most. But to have an outing like that, you've had such a storied career, by the way, chasing 100 wins by the time it's all said and done. But that day at the JMU Dukes Invitational, that perfect game, just give us some thoughts, memories, what it's like to experience one of the great days as a pitcher.
Yeah, I would say going into it, I wouldn't say I necessarily felt like it was going to be my best game ever. My warm-up was just, mediocre. Sometimes whenever I have a bad warm-up, I think, the game's going to be really good if I have a really bad warm-up, or at least that's what I tell myself. So going into the game, I was really just worried about attacking the hitters. I knew they were more of like a lefty short game type team. So I knew just throw strikes, and ended up working out for me. And it was really exciting to have that moment with my team.
Mary, on that note, can you tell us a little bit about when you felt like, okay, this could be my perfect game? Was it the sixth? Was it the seventh? Was it that last out where you're like still, trying to be sure, but you felt it? Can you walk us through that?
Yeah, so we were up, pretty much the whole game. I think at first I was like, I could possibly throw a no-hitter going into the fourth or the fifth. We were teetering on run ruling and not run ruling. And then, once we decided not to run rule in the fifth, it was 6-0 or something like that. And then I was like, like 2 more innings. I got to get through 2 more innings in order to get the no-hitter. I never was really thinking about a perfect game until the last inning, because I knew how hard it is to throw a perfect game. And I've been pretty close in previous years, and, something always comes up, something doesn't go your way. But yeah, it was definitely a lot of anxiety in that last inning. I think I got 3 balls on the last 2 outs, and I was getting a little nervous to say the least. But yeah, it was. I'm glad it's all worked out, and it's a great achievement, and I'll never forget it.
Incredible insights from Mary Haff. We really appreciate those insights. So Taylor catches you. She catches everyone. She catches every inning, it feels like. She joined you guys from Texas. So you get Taylor Ellsworth, who, like you, has been playing college softball really effectively for a long, long time. Introduce her as a player, your relationship, pitcher, catcher. Tell me about Taylor.
Taylor is definitely, like you said, she's been around college softball for a while. And just having such a knowledgeable and experienced catcher can do a lot for a pitching staff, and especially for us because we kind of have a younger pitching staff. So just getting her knowledge of the game just elevates our game a little bit more as pitchers. And she really, gives us insight on, what she thinks we should throw here, and just like back and forth talking about pitches. And she really definitely makes me comfortable when I'm pitching, knowing that she's back there. And, if I ever have any questions about anything, she's definitely right there to help me and anyone who's struggling. But like I said, just having the experience behind the plate just definitely makes everyone more comfortable.
When you change your dance partner like that, that's an evolution. Raised by a pitcher, my father in the other diamond sport, and he did it my whole life. I've done it. But when you change that dance partner and your catcher, it is an evolution. Besides that change, what's one of the greatest areas of evolution that you've experienced heading into this year and then through this year? In other words, where have you improved the most, you think? Because we always think, okay, she's done this for hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of innings, but you still evolve, you still improve. What area in the circle have you improved the most in this season?
In this season, once you have such a historic and just great season like I had last year, I think you kind of put a little too much pressure on yourself. And I think at the beginning of the year, I definitely did that for myself. But I definitely feel like I've finally settled down and pitched how I know how to pitch. Pitching wise, how I've improved this year is I've added a little bit of a down ball pitch. I'm mainly rise ball, but I was able to sprinkle in a few down ball pitches here and there. And I think it's really elevated my game more than I had in the past.
That is awesome. My last question for you is, can you tell us a little bit about the rest of your teammates? I know Arkansas is heavy on the map. You guys are having a great season. But walk us through a little bit of who stands out, who kind of is the spark leader in the dugout, who kind of keeps you going. Just anybody that stands out to you that you would like to highlight.
I think the most underrated players on our team is definitely our third baseman, Hannah Gamble. She's definitely the spark of our entire team, the most pure-hearted, loved softball girl I've ever met in my whole life. And this team would not be where they are without her. Just always being energetic, always just, keeping it upbeat. And also our left fielder, Hannah McEwen. She's another fifth-year senior like me, and she's kind of flies under the radar, doesn't really do spectacular things when people are watching, you would say, but being a player on the team, she's just meant the world to me in my career. And I know everyone, she's such a good leader, and she's definitely someone that goes unnoticed on our team.
Keep missing those bats, Mary Haff. Keep missing them because, man, you've had an amazing career.
Thank you.
Mary Haff, Arkansas, what a journey. She talked about last year, 26 wins, an ERA of 1.5. Incredible stuff. She kind of did the same thing she did her freshman year in 2018. Great conversation. When we come back, more of those. We're going to go to BYU on Perfect Game Softball. We're excited on this show to have the future of the sport, and by many ranked the #1 player in the country. Extra inning softball certainly does in the 2023 class. Destiny and I excited to talk with Mia Williams. I've had the great fortune of calling several of her games, an All-American game last year. One of her homers when she played for, I believe, was the Mojo that barreled over the wall. It was yep, that's right. That was it. It's wonderful to connect with you. One of the best players in the 2023 class, on a bit of a break, a spring break, if you will. Thanks for spending time with us. We really, really appreciate it, Mia.
Of course.
Help us understand, help me understand, and Destiny understand how and when you fell in love with the sport of softball. When did it become the sport that you knew you loved, that you wanted to play?
Well, actually, it's funny. I never even knew softball until my mom put me in softball when I was little. And ever since then, it was like a little hometown club, like Windermere Little League softball. And ever since then, like I've loved it ever since. And I've been growing up with the same people that were in it. Like some people are even on my team that I used to be playing with in Windermere Little League. I play against them. Like it's crazy how far, it's just yeah. I don't know, it's crazy. And I loved it ever since. My mom just put me in one day. I was like, yeah, I was like 8 years old, I think. So, yeah.
That is awesome. Mia, can you walk us through a little bit of your recruiting process? What has been the most difficult, the most exciting? What has your journey been like? I know the recruiting process is so different for so many young ladies. So walk us through the most exciting parts that you've been through and some of the stuff that was maybe a little frustrating. Just share with us.
Sorry. The most exciting is definitely being able to commit when I was in like sixth grade, sixth grade. Like that's obviously was like amazing because I would go to school and all my classes would be like, oh my gosh, like you're already committed, like all this stuff. And I was like, yeah. But yeah, I just been being able to set like because there's obviously younger people that committed after me. So I feel like, I don't know if this is a good thing or a bad thing, but like committing so young, I guess made people not afraid to, like younger people, like to not be afraid to commit so early. But then obviously the rule happened. But yeah, but then another thing that happened when I committed early that's like not so good is I guess getting like hate. I mean, it didn't really affect me because I wasn't really on social media when I was in sixth grade. So it's like, I didn't really see anything, but like getting hate for committing too young, which is like, it's not really their choice. It's my choice and I've made the right choice. So yeah.
So sixth grade, that is insane. And well, now with the rule, you're right, it's unheard of and not even legal anymore. But can you tell us a little bit about you committing in sixth grade and how you were able to like keep your head up and continue to focus? There's either two ways to go when you commit when you're that young. It's okay, I'm settled and I'm good, I'm committed, or it's I'm going to work harder and continue to go after my dream. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, so definitely I always, as soon as I committed, my mom has always been telling me ever since, like, you're not set yet, you still have to keep going, keep working hard. And I'm like, yeah, I know. So, obviously, yeah, just keeping just staying in my lane, working hard, not paying attention to anything else because, you always want to get better. At least I know. Like, there's always room to get better. So I was like, I'm not at my best, my full potential. I still am not at my full potential. Like, I know everyone can get better. So it's just I kept thinking to myself, like, I know I can get better. Like, I have to get better. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. Introduce us to your mom and your relationship. She was an elite javelin thrower at Florida. She was an Olympic level athlete. Olympic qualifiers called her name as well. So I've heard her mentioned several times, and it sounds like she's for sure one of your guides and mentors. Tell us what you know about her athletic journey, and then take it full circle to your relationship today.
Well, I know that she was always really athletic, like an All-American, actually, I think. And I don't know, I still pick at her, like, to this day. Like, she made it to the Olympic trials, but she didn't make it to the Olympics, so she always thinks that she's more athletic than my dad, and I'm like, no, like, my dad definitely, whatever. But we joke about it all the time. But, yeah, she's been with me since forever. Like, she's the one to take me to everything. She really does everything to me. Like, she cancels out everything in her life. Like, like a normal mom would go to the tennis club or go out with friends for lunch. Like, no, she's with me practicing on the field, like, still to this day and everything like that. So, yeah, she's just been great.
That's amazing. So then tell me about your dad. I'm a guy who knows of your dad's career, respected it a lot and what he accomplished, world championship, a lot he can look back on. And for our viewers, it's Jason Williams. Why Chocolate? A guy who played at Marshall in Florida and had an amazing NBA career. I'd love to know about Dad today because those kind of lessons that he's passing forward, my dad's in the Baseball Hall of Fame. I got some pretty good lessons from what he went through. You're similar to me in that. I'm a lot older, but you're similar to me in that. What lessons has Dad shared with you?
So he's more of like a mental kind of guy just because he's made it to such a big level in his life. So he can really help me out, like, mentally if I'm struggling, or, like, what to expect, or, like, how to really get through, like, big, I guess, burdens sometimes in my sport or whatever. But yeah, he really helps me out, like mentally, and like having a good like mentality and always staying positive and stuff like that.
So Mia, I saw that you are a dual sport athlete. You play soccer. Can you tell us a little bit about the journey through playing soccer and softball, how you manage that? I know that there's a lot of young ladies who'd probably look up to being a dual sport athlete. I know some people like it, some people have other things to say about it, but I think it would be awesome for you to kind of talk to young ladies about how to manage that and how to make that possible.
Yeah. So luckily for me, like if I ever wanted to do like more than one, like other than softball, it would be like obviously a school sport. So I do school soccer or I do like school volleyball, but I'm lucky enough to have like games and practices only during the week. So then like if I ever had like a tournament or if I had, I mean, obviously if I had a tournament during the week or any type of practice for softball during the week, I'd miss soccer obviously, but I like was lucky enough to only have soccer games during the week. So I wouldn't really have softball. And so that just made it like a lot nicer because like I wouldn't really have to miss anything. And like, yeah, being a dual sport athlete is also really fun, especially in high school. Or yeah, because you can be with like your friends, like high school friends. Cause I never really get to spend a lot of time with them because I'm always away with travel softball. So it's like I never really get to have time with my friends. But yeah, so yeah.
Give us a scouting report on you in the classroom. I'd love to know how you're performing in the classroom because going on to Florida, you know it won't be academically a walk in the park. So I'm guessing as someone who has the standards you have athletically, you set similar standards for yourself academically. Expound, please.
Yeah. So right now, I just actually got I made it into the National Honor Society. But yeah, I've kept I think always since ninth grade. I don't know, it just bugs me when I have something that's not like an A, like even an A minus. I'm like, ooh, but I just like seeing all A's on that like canvas on my home school page. So yeah,
that is awesome. So obviously you're going to Florida. We're all excited to see you compete there. Can you tell us what you're most excited about going there, and maybe something that you're a little nervous about when you attend?
Mm-hmm. So I'm definitely most excited about playing. I mean, I go to their games all the time and it's just like the uniforms, like everything is just so professional. Playing on good field all the time. Like you'll never have a bad field. Just like stuff like that, being with the team, like living the college lifestyle. I think I'm really excited for. Like I like living, like being on my own and like doing my own thing. So it'd definitely be fun to do that. I'm probably most nervous about probably the academic part of it, just because what I want to do when I'm older, I want to be a vet. So like I know I'm gonna have to study really, really hard and take really difficult classes, but maintain that also like softball and focusing on that too. So.
Yeah, you're crazy passionate for animals, right? I mean, like rescuing animals, keeping them safe. Kind of give us the depth chart. You're at the top of the depth chart on a softball roster. Give us your animal depth chart currently that you're helping to care for, because I know your heart always beats for animals and always will.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I mean, my dog. I think my dog is like my best friend. It should be like a little nerdy, but like I think I mean that honestly. I'm not scared to tell anyone that, but
wait, real quick. How is a dog nerdy? Help me understand how a dog is nerdy. I'd love to know.
No, not my dog nerdy. Like saying that my dog is my best friend is nerdy.
You're nerdy.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine. I was a little concerned about a nerdy. You go ahead and call yourself nerdy all day long. Continue your answer. I apologize.
It's okay. But yeah, I don't know. Any way to help the community. Like if I see an animal, like actually the other month, I think there was like a baby dog that was lost at the end of my street near the mailboxes, and I was on the golf cart and I like immediately took it in and I was like, oh my gosh, we have to take this to the guard gate and we have to ask whose dog it is because this poor dog looks like it's missing or whatever. But like just small things like that. I'll see like a lizard in the pool or something and I'll like splash it out just so I don't want it to like drown. But yeah.
Okay, so you want to be a vet, you're going to Florida. Can you tell us something that we may not know? We have some questionnaires that we've looked at. We've done our research on you. We know your parents are celebrities. Can you tell us something that we may not know about you?
I like to read. I love books. I like reading. Yeah. Yeah, I like to dance too, like TikTok. I think I'm pretty good at TikTok.
Okay.
I don't know.
All right. That's awesome.
Yeah.
We got a dual sport athlete, athletic parents, vet, Florida, standout stud. I mean, I don't have any more questions for you, Darren. Do you have anything else?
No, I
mean,
yeah.
super exciting.
I'm far from done, Mia. I'm far from done. No, I kid. Obviously, I do want to know if you've continued on into this your junior year of high school with the food-themed Halloween costumes. I want to know if those have continued on, and if so, what did you dress as this past year?
Unfortunately, the food-themed Halloween costumes have come to an end.
What did it end with? What was the final? What was it? A slice of pizza? What was it?
It was a taco. I was a taco freshman year for Halloween. Yeah, but yeah, last year I was a cowgirl, so yeah, maybe it'll come back. Who knows?
Yeah, the things you learn reading about talented athletes. I also would love to know a little bit about your relationship with Indiana-based Keegan Rothrock. I've seen you guys at events together. She, last year shared that you were the new number 1 in the rankings. She's number 2. You guys go back and forth. Tell me a little bit about, she's a fellow Florida commit, your relationship.
Yeah, I love Keegan. She's super, super nice. She works super duper hard. I'm really, really looking forward to playing with her in college because she's a beast. Like, I can't wait to see her go kill it out there. But yeah, she's super duper hardworking, and I just think we get along really well because of that. We both have the same mentality. We hate to lose. We love to win. But yeah, I can't wait to play with her.
And then my final question for you is, where do you feel like your game offensively has evolved the most over the last year? Give yourself a full year and tell me where you think your game offensively has grown the most.
I think probably my mentality, like going up to the plate. I think like thinking that you can hit everything. Like, I mean, the mechanics are there. Yeah, they've been there, whatever. But like, I just think my mentality going up to the plate has just gotten like a lot better, especially like competing against like better girls and being on a really top-notch club team with really, really good players. Just thinking to myself, like, you can hit everything. Like, you're good enough. Like, don't let anyone tell you different. Like, and if you're going to swing as hard as you can, and, good things will happen. So.
All right. Aggression then. Hey, by the way, T-shirt is A+.
Oh,
that is an A+ T-shirt game, and we appreciate you sporting it. I mean, amazing T-shirt. Thanks for spending time with us. Thanks for spending time. We wish you a great junior year. Have a great summer. You've earned it. Congratulations, Mia, on all you've accomplished.
Thank you. Thank you guys for having me.
Mia Williams was spectacular. Arkansas's Mary Haff as well. And on behalf of Destiny Martinez, my name is Darren Sutton. We're here each and every week with brand new shows dedicated to the sport at the amateur level. We'll see you next time. We'll see you at the ballpark on Perfect Game Softball.